According to the Bullying in England report published by the government in November 2018, 25% of 10 to 15-year-olds experience bullying in the Northeast. The rise of social media had a dramatic impact upon the types of bullying students experienced. Given the rise of the different types of bullying, how are the colleges such as Hartlepool Sixth Form College tackling the issue and offering the right support for their students? But to understand, what is the definition of bullying?
Lads thinking they're better than others, think they're so powerful they can just mess people around basically.
Constant harassment or physical punishment for no reason.
My definition of bullying is when someone, usually minority, is being made to feel small, intimidated, usually about their appearance or ability, where someone doesn't feel safe in the workplace, if it's a work environment.
To me, being bullied is if you feel intimidated or if you feel threatened in yourself and you feel as if you can't go somewhere because something is making you feel really uncomfortable in a situation where you should actually feel quite comfortable and positive.
I wanted to explore if people thought that bullying had an effect on mental health.
I think it can cause multiple things, but mainly anxiety and depression, because with bullying it makes you feel like you're not good enough for anyone, like you're always second place.
Continued bullying can certainly affect people and can cause a mental instability, yes. I don't think it's an ultimate cause. I think it'll be a symptom of many things.
Well, I wouldn't think so, no. Like, you just get over it. You just be the bigger person. You don't let them push you back.
So definitely, I'd say 100%. I think mental health is such an important aspect now in society. Yes, we're talking about mental health a bit more. In the past, I've had many students who have had to work through a lot of mental health issues, and it's really, really tough. And again, I think the main contributing factor to that would be social media and the fact that you can't escape it now. It's everywhere. People are stuck to their mobile phones, and I think image is so important because you're trying to project this perfect ideal image of yourself. And it really starts to grind you down. You don't have any break from it. It's there 24/7. So it definitely has a negative impact on your mental health.
According to the annual bullying survey conducted by digitallabel.org, 38% of students felt that bullying had a mild to extreme impact on their mental health. A shocking 34% had considered suicide. Clearly, this is something that needs to be tackled by colleges head on. But with colleges, what support do they have? How can they help the students? I asked some students this, and this was their response.
There is support. Or reception. There's loads of places you can go to.
Student support staff.
Anything else?
No.
I then asked teachers the same questions, and I got a much better response as they have more experience and have dealt with bullying more in the past for other people.
In our college, we do have safeguarding officers who you can contact at any point in the day. Obviously, as a member of staff, we receive training about how to kind of spot any signs. I mean, particularly if like radicalisation is a problem now, as well as bullying issues. And if we spot anything going on or something untoward with a student, we might have an informal one-to-one chat. But if anything arises from that chat, that there is an issue there, obviously that has to be recorded and logged by the college has a policy to make sure you report anything that you feel where a student might be at threat or unhappy. We've got services that we can refer students to should they be feeling at any point bullied or something that we can't deal with ourselves in college.
And speak to the safeguarding team. And of course we also have an open door policy amongst our management, and they can always be approached.
That's kind of our policy at the moment.
The biggest event in our century is definitely the development of the internet, and how we use it can be for better or for worse. Cyberbullying has become an issue. It has become a hobby for some people online, whether it's bullying online influencers or individuals. Before the internet, you could escape bullying by getting home away from the bullies. Now that's not possible. With online, they can track you anywhere with any account under any name. So why do people bully? People typically bully when they are bullied, whether it's at home or other people at school. Bullying is a cycle that is still going on today and probably will never be fixed.
I think the main reason for bullying would be, again, appearance initially, amongst the young people. People that are different, people that go against the norm, perhaps people that who don't fit into expectations may get picked on because they look different. Then as you get older, maybe it's in the workplace, people might get bullied, well, for that reason as well, but also because of maybe the way they speak, the way they dress, the way they perform their job role.
I don't know, it's just the way people get along with others, isn't it? Like, I don't know, maybe they're jealous, I don't know, maybe they're actually just trying to get to know you, but they have a psychotic way of showing it.
So I think the main reason for bullying for me would be difference. For some reason, when you're younger, if someone's different to you or has a different thought or a different belief to you, that tends to become a target for bullies.
People bully appearances more than anything, whether it's the clothes you wear or the colour of your skin. There is way too much to bully, and yet so little you can do against it. Staying quiet like your parents say only goes so far. One of the problems of bullying is the effect on mental health. With depression on the rise, is it really a coincidence that bullying is too? People can just stay behind a computer screen and do way worse than they ever could in person. The young life of a person impacts them when they're older massively, and with them getting such a bad start, so this should definitely be helped. Some schools' answers for bullying just don't work and they never seem to get there. So bullying has gone on forever. How can we fix it? I asked some people this and I got some special viewpoints.
I tell them to man up the victims, where the bullies are scared of you. That's how I've always seen it.
Public fines for harassment. Not jail time, obviously. That's just too extreme, but in schools, exclusion. Permanent exclusion.
So what would you count as being fined? What's like the level?
Something that'd make them not do it again. Like 150 to 500 pound.
Don't like bullying, do you?
Really not, no.
It's a really difficult question. I think you need more students to take on the responsibility to be mentors perhaps in schools and be there as support, someone who students can talk to confidentially to a certain degree, but often things will have to be reported back if there's something more serious going on. But if you had like peer champions in each area, obviously we're creative industries, someone that students knew we can go and talk to that person on a one-to-one level rather than a teacher, because often students, we like to think that students would come to us with problems, but I think they'd be more likely to talk to a peer than a member of staff about the issue initially, and then that person could be then trained to kind of support that person or point them in the right direction of where they can get further support for their problem. Thankfully, I do believe we have very low instances of bullying in this college, so it doesn't happen very often at all. But I do know that members of staff are currently going through some mental health awareness training, because obviously bullying is, I would say, linked to mental health as well. So you'll be having staff who are trained to deal with mental health issues as well in class, so you could signpost people to those members of staff for extra support with the issue as well.
So do you think that prefects would be a good start to get the prefects to help people with the bullying?
I think so. I think peer to peer, going back to when I was at school, I probably feel more comfortable talking to someone who is my own age, you're the best person who's experienced, particularly social media aspects. That will be my starting point. And obviously you'd have to pick the right kind of people. They'd have to be responsible. They'd have to be willing to commit to training and to give the correct advice to those peers. But I think it's an extremely important role in a college, and I think it will continue to be an important role for years to come. In fact, so much so the government, I think, are looking at their social media policies and looking at how can we manage this epidemic of social media, mental health and bullying.
One interview really stood out to me and seemed to have a really good point. I set out to make this documentary to show is there really an answer against bullying, which I thought there really wasn't, and I thought everyone would just be clueless, but I was wrong. When dealing with bullying, instead of pointing it out or telling a teacher and then getting bullied more because you told the teacher, we should have more students to back these victims up. We should have people they can go to around their age to relate to them more. Of course, this side does have its downfalls, but much less than the rest of the strategies. Telling people bullying exists does not help them. Moving people to different schools, which will later on affect their grades, does not help people. Getting them both in a room and saying sorry, it does not help anyone. Life has its ups and downs, and it doesn't always go the way you want. Life has its ups and downs, and doesn't always go the way that you want it to. But it's the only one you've got. You can't think about the small stuff, you can't change your genetics, you just have to accept them. People may make fun of you, but that just means you're already a better person than them. You may feel belittled and weak, but later on in life you'll be way better off than them. And then you can be the better person and not make fun of them when they're down. You can just get on with your own life and be happy yourself. Because your childhood is a small portion of your life. And to base your entire life off of that one little bit is ridiculous. You've just started off.